Welcome back to Hot Topics, live in the Fabre Framework Studio. Today, we're diving into the make or break factor in real estate. Success, first impressions. Today's episode is First Impressions Matter, Getting Listings Market Ready. In a market where potential buyers make their decisions in seconds, your visual story needs to be flawless and be beyond that surface level sparkle. And our guests today, they're the masters of turning just listed into just sold at record speed. I am your host, Quan Rimmer. And first up, we have...
I'm Roy Ponder.
He is one half of the powerhouse duo behind BioSweep. He is the odor assassin, the environmental eliminator, the man who makes smoke, mold, and mystery odors vanish, restoring properties to a fresh, show-ready state without ripping out walls or flooring. His work doesn't just make a property smell good, it makes buyers linger, fall in love, and write offers. And joining him,
I'm Michael Hooley,
owner of Hooley Media, the master of media, who knows exactly how to command attention. From sharp, high-impact photography to jaw-dropping drone footage and immersive 3D modeling, Michael transforms listings into visual blockbusters that stop buyers mid-scroll and make them think, I need to see this house today. These are our panelists. Thank you for joining.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Perfect. How'd y'all like your intros?
That was awesome.
As well.
I mean, can you just follow me around all day?
I could.
I was just human hype man, just walking into Publix.
I will. Perfect. So, Roy, let's start. In your experience, what are the top hidden odor or air quality issues that sellers often overlook but buyers immediately notice?
Well, Quan, the main things that we run up against would be cigarette smoke smell, and pet odors. Those are the two big ones. And the reason that happens in listings is because the seller literally has become nose blind to those things. It's amazing to see because we pick up on it so quickly. You know, cigarette smell and pet odors. We pick up on it quickly, but somebody who's lived in that for a very long time doesn't even realize that it's there. And so that's a real problem for the listing agent. They have to be very tactful in bringing this up to the seller. They just have to be really careful, very professional, but we found that if they can do that and get us involved early, we can solve those problems.
Good. Michael, when you're capturing a home on camera, what are your go-to tips for getting that standout shot that grabs a buyer's attention and makes them stop scrolling?
Yeah, I think the first part has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the staging of the home. So the seller and the real estate agent need to work together to get that home ready. Then I'm going to step in and I'm just going to look for things that might be a distraction to someone looking at a photo. So a cell phone charger, putting the toilet seat down, just kind of getting those little things so that it keeps the focus on the room. Once you're at that point, natural light is huge. We're in Florida. Everybody wants everything bright. So we're going to try to bring in as much natural light as possible. If it's a bit of a dark area, we can use some external lights. Next is going to be your equipment. Mirrorless camera, wide angle lens. What does that mean? Every photo you want to try to see 3 walls, floor and ceiling. Make those rooms look nice and bright, nice and wide. And then probably 2 little techie tips would be something that's called a window pull. If you ever see a photo on MLS and the window is just completely washed out, they're not doing something called a window pull, which basically means you're taking several photos, merging them together so you have both the room in focus and the window in focus. That's normally something that you'd see if the agent took iPhone photos or didn't use a professional photographer. And then probably the last thing is, like I said, you're trying to keep potential buyers just looking at the photo and the space, and you'll just look at the verticals. So you have refrigerators, you have counters, you have windows. You want those all to be 90 degrees, makes the image look nice and clean. And what are we doing? We're focusing on that beautiful kitchen, that beautiful living room, and not worrying about clutter or blurred out light or messy kitchen cabinets, things like that.
Gotcha. Perfect. This question's for both of you. In today's market, buyers are more particular than ever. What's one unexpected deal breaker you've seen that could have been fixed with better listing prep?
Well, again, the odors have to be primary because what happens a lot of times if a client gets to the front door and they sense that smell coming out of the front door, it's a deal killer right there. I've heard so many stories about agents who have brought their customers to a home and they smell the cigarette smoke or they smell the cat urine in the place. And they know instinctively, I cannot live here. I don't want to have to deal with this. I don't want to have to try to remediate it. When really, if the listing agent could just have that conversation and let's get this handled up front, then you save a whole lot of headaches there.
Yeah, I mean, me and Roy are just part of the equation, right? You got the person selling the home, you have the real estate agent. So I'm going to go back to the deal breaker is the staging of the home. We're getting paid to come in to do our job, but we have to do that at the time we arrive on the house. So as someone that photographs 20, 25 houses a week, I get to see the immaculately prepared versus the, hey, did you know there was a photographer going to be here today? So, make or break, the way I look at that is I'm going to be paid for my time. I'm going to do the best with what I have to work with. But that sweat equity that homeowner has to get the home ready is an extra day's worth of sweat that nobody likes doing, moving stuff, painting, worth 10 grand because that's what you're leaving on the table. And I get asked a lot, like, is this good enough? And I look at them like, I'm not selling the home. I'm taking it as is. I'll always be involved in moving some boxes and helping, but I have a limited time to do that. So I think that make or break is that prep time, both as the seller of the home, and that's what you're choosing in the real estate professional that you're hiring and paying a commission to do that. What advice are they giving you? I certainly get to see both extremes of that as well, where that real estate agent really coached them on depersonalizing, decluttering, and then you have ones where that professional didn't give them any advice, so they don't know any different. One of the things we've got into is I have a personal prep sheet that I pass to all the real estate photographers, and it basically says, these are my suggestions, and on the back it has a form. So when they do their listing presentation, they walk through, write some notes, leave those notes for the homeowner, and hopefully they take your advice to showcase that home the best as you can. Because once I'm there, I just have to take the photos and the videos, of the property as it is.
Roy, what's the science behind the smell of a home? And how can sellers leverage odor remediation as a competitive edge?
That's a really good question. We know there's a lot of science involved in selling a home, no matter what aspect we're talking about. There's a science to how it looks and how the lighting hits and making that buyer feel good about the space. There's a science between the selling agent and the buyer and how they talk to somebody and how they massage and put things in a positive light. There's a science behind that. Well, the science behind smell is even more powerful than all of those because we all know how smells affect us emotionally. It can be a significant emotional trigger for a buyer. Again, we talk about the client who walks to the door and smells the cat pee, and you can it's a visceral change in their face on how that. But if it's just a pleasant, no odor space, then you leave it open to the buyer to decide for themselves how they feel about the space. Okay, and what I tell folks is I would rather that agents don't try to put in the plug-ins. Okay, we've all been into that space where plug-ins are everywhere, and all you can smell is the frou-frou, I call it, or the flowery smell in the home. Well, that if somebody likes that smell, that's great. But not everybody likes that smell. Some people really are averse and even have a physical reaction to those smells. So my advice to folks is let's get the place odor neutral and let the buyer put their own palate on that space. Let the buyer decide how they feel about that space based on a zero smell to them.
I like that. And Michael, what role does drone footage, 3D tours, virtual staging play in creating a memorable first impression? And how should realtors decide when to invest in those?
So hopefully we can all decide in 2025 every listing should have professional photography. Hopefully that's our baseline.
We would hope.
As an owner of a media company, I would encourage a bit more. When you're going into things like drone, virtual staging, 3D tours, even video, my analogy is, I think it's Zuckerberg, a lot of the rich and famous people, they wear the same thing every day. Their thought process is, I have bigger decisions to make later in the day. I need to save my brain power, and I don't need to do it on what pair of pants and shirts. I think if you're a real estate professional in this world, you should have your formula for every listing, whatever that is. For every listing, I do photography, a vertical reel, a floor plan, and drone, if that's Quan's formula. And maybe Roy has a different one. Just stick with that. Do it consistently. Work that into your listing presentation. That becomes part of your marketing. This is what I do for every listing, no matter if it's 300,000 or $1 million. Then when you have those unique properties, like one that's vacant, that's when you invest in either physically staging the home, or if you don't have the budget for that, virtually staging home. If you're not someone that incorporates drone photography in every listing, maybe you do if it's on a golf course or it's by the ocean. You kind of veer off of that. There's no way that drone, 3D tours, video, floor plan, none of those are ever going to hurt the listing. They're only going to enhance it. But my kind of coaching to agents when they're hemming and hawing, should I do drone on this one? Should I do floor plan? Just stay consistent with it. Do it for every single one. Incorporate your marketing, branding, and I think that gives them the confidence when they're a listing presentation. They're not hemming and hawing, or they told a seller that they were going to do drone, and then all of a sudden they don't.
Okay. Well, listen, let's go into our favorite part of our segment, the hot seat. Each one of you will get 2 minutes to pitch your services directly to our viewers and listeners. Roy, the clock is set for 2 minutes. Tell our listeners why BioSweep is the secret weapon for getting listings market ready.
So BioSweep is a national franchise. We've been doing this a very long time. I am the second generation in BioSweep. I sold my first BioSweep franchise from Alabama and bought the Florida franchise here in 23. So I've been around for a while. I know what this technology does. Nobody has got the technology that we have, and I say that with the utmost of confidence. Nobody has the advanced photocatalytic oxidation technology that we have. I've done well over probably 1,000 homes, as well as fires and all kinds of projects eliminating odor. And so I'm very well qualified to come in, assess your situation, and then deal with it in a professional manner. And if I did run up on something that I'd never seen before, I've got a network of people I can call and say, hey, has anybody seen this? And somebody knows what I'm talking about and how to address it. So we are affordable. We are very honest and have a lot of integrity with what we do. And when we say we'll give you your money back if we can't get rid of the smell, we mean that. I have had to do it on a few occasions, not many, but we absolutely stand behind our process 100%.
How can the people contact you?
We're on the web, biosweepcentralfl.com. Our telephone number is on the website. We have a web form there as well, but our phone number is 813-365-7986, and we'll answer the phone. If we don't answer it, we will get back to you.
Perfect. Michael, you got 2 minutes. Give us the Holy Media blueprint for making buyers click and call.
Sure. I mean, Holy Media is entering its 6th year. We started right here in Pinellas County, only offering video services to real estate agents in COVID when open houses and showings weren't a thing. We've grown with the real estate market in Pinellas, and we are now a full-service marketing agency that specializes in real estate media for real estate agents and brokers. So what does that mean? If you are someone that wants to list a house and you want to get top dollar and you want to do it with the highest quality media, we're your company. We're going to offer interior exterior photography, drone, vertical reels, floor plans, 3D virtual tours, twilight sessions, and our highest level package includes a custom landing page where you pull all that together to showcase that property. If we're taking photos, you're going to get them next day. Any of our other services, we're going to attempt to get them next day, but we're going to get them to you in 48 hours. You're working directly with me. I have a small team of 3, so you're not getting passed down to a younger photographer that just got handed a camera a couple of months ago. It's myself and 2 other people that we've all trained. We edit the same so that you get consistent stuff. So you can find us on our website, holymedia.com. My cell phone number, you can speak directly to me, 339-793-0774. And on our website, we do have online scheduling. You can go in there and book directly. We schedule Monday through Friday, 5 appointments a day, 9, 11, 1, 3, and 5, as well as twilight sessions 7 days a week.
Perfect. Thank you, gentlemen. Both survived the hot seat very well. And you made sure you gave contact information, so you did a great job. Let's go back to a couple more questions.
Okay.
This one I guess I'll do for both of you. What's your best before and after success story that turned a stale listing into a showstopper?
This one happened several years ago. This lady contacted me, and many times the case, they find out about us late in the game. And this lady had smoked in her house for many years, and she wanted to sell it. It was a beautiful, beautiful home, very modest home, but very beautiful. And she knew that she had to do something about the smoke odor. So she painted everything, which is a no-no for us, but we'll still work with you. She had painted everything. Multiple layers of paint. She had pulled all the carpet, all the draperies, and replaced those. So it had brand new carpet and still had a smoke odor. By her own testimony, she had spent literally thousands of dollars before she found us. When she found us, I came and I assessed it and treated the space. I think we did about a 12-hour treatment on that space.
Wow.
And totally eliminated the smoke odor in it. So when she wrote us a review, her review says it all. She was leaving the house when the buyer's agent was bringing some folks in. And as she was leaving, she overheard the buyer say, "Wow, this place smells so fresh." So that's the best testimony we could ever get.
Why is it a no-no to paint the house?
That was just a question I was going to ask.
Okay.
Because you figured that would actually eliminate the smell.
Well, a paint is a sealer, but it's an imperfect sealer. But what it does is it prevents my process from getting to the odor. So if the smoke odor is in the walls, which it is, and you paint it, you've essentially blocked my process out of that. So what we say is, please don't paint. Let us treat it first, and then you can paint the walls. Okay? And so that comes later. We'll still treat it, but it makes it a little more difficult for us. We have to be a little more aggressive in our treatment to get rid of it.
Reinforcing, they're like baking the smell into the walls.
Yeah, just sealing again, and then it rebounds or it draws back out over time. As that house, heats and cools, we know what happens. That paint stretches and thins, and that odor can come back through.
Gotcha. Never knew. Look at that, Lawrence.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What about you, Michael?
What was the question?
It was, what's your best before and after success
Yes.
story that turned a stale listing into a showstopper?
So first one is right when I started the business, really probably my first luxury listing, like $4 million house that had been on the market, and we were in COVID and people just couldn't get into houses. And that's kind of when I started offering these video walkthroughs. And obviously those are huge now in 2025, but back in 2020, they weren't as popular. But the house sold 7 to 10 days got under contract after we made the video, and it went to someone in California that never stepped foot in the property. And that to me was really like, all right, I'm onto something here, because they were able to visualize what that home looked like. And the way that the videos are kind of going now, you don't always get that, and I'm kind of fighting that a little bit. I want someone to be able to watch a video, walk through the front door, what's the floor plan, what's the layout, that they can actually visualize the space and the floor plan. So that would be one. And then two, I find a lot of my best before and afters are smaller homes that the real estate professional didn't use professional photography, took them with iPhones, so you have dark and gloomy photos, but way too many. MLS allows you to do 100. So a lot of times our coaching is come in, get that professional photography, and just show 25 to 40. Highlight the best spaces. If there's a ugly pink second bathroom, or there's a garage that you put all of your life belongings into, it doesn't need to be shown. It's part of the home. Let them find that out when they go and take the tour. But we're trying to use this media where you're putting in MLS and Zillow and Realtor.com to get them into the home. And sometimes less is more. So those would be my two examples of just kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. The high dollar home that someone bought without ever walking in, that just needed, an extra media component, and a smaller home that maybe wasn't a showstopper, just kind of coaching them of how to market that home a little bit better.
Good. Well, at that point, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back at live in Fabre Framework Studio. Now I'm going to chase something up, because you just talked about, that viral moment, that the element of the social media. Mm-hmm. So how has social media reshaped the visual storytelling of listings, and what types of content perform best for engagement?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're a business owner, a real estate professional, if you're not on social media, if you're not utilizing social media, you're leaving money on the table. Social media is here. There's multiple platforms, and video content is king. So right now, the agent branded vertical reels are the most popular thing. Typically, these go in trends, but those are getting the most engagement. And when I have someone call me that's thinking about getting on camera and wanting to do it and seeing others do it, and we walk through that, I ask them, why? And a lot of times in their mind, it's to help sell a house. And what I'm telling them, it's not to help sell the house. It's to help sell themselves. Your social media, your presence online, that is your branding. You're not BioSweep. You're not Huli Media. You're Sally Smith. You're Craig whatever. That is your brand. So those vertical reels are really, really popular, and I think they should be incorporated to every listing, because those are getting people's attention. And I'm hearing time and time again from the real estate professionals that are doing them that is how they got a listing appointment. They saw them on a Facebook story. They saw them on an Instagram story. They see them everywhere on social media, and they wanted to sit down and give them an opportunity to kind of pitch what they would do to sell their house.
I like that. I think if there's anything, if it's at least one tidbit from out of today's show, I think hopefully it's that the realtors start doing that. Like, it gets them business. Roy, we in Florida. It's hot and humid.
Yes, it is.
How do you address that lingering moisture-related odors or moldress during pre-listings?
Okay. So musty, mold-related odors really need to be investigated first by a qualified assessor. So I would recommend, if you've got an odor, get an assessor in there and let them do their job and find out if there is mold in the space that needs to be remediated in some way. And if they determine that no, the space is safe, it's just had a little extra moisture and we've got an odor from that, then I would bring in BioSweep, because mold related odors are one of the easiest things for BioSweep to handle. We actually create a mixture of highly oxidative gases that go into every crevice, every crack, every space within the home, including the air ducts. And so we will get that gas everywhere in the home, and it will break down that odor and even kill some mold spores that are in the air on the surfaces during our treatment. So once we're done, there will be zero mold odor, and it'll just be a nice, clean, fresh space.
So you're neutralizing the odor with other chemicals? Is it safe for the homeowner to be in the house during this process?
During the process, no. We create a mixture of oxidative gas, not really chemicals. It's not like we're spraying a liquid anywhere in the home for this. We're actually creating a mixture of oxidative gas out of the ambient air and humidity. The technology, which I can wax on eloquently for most folks, don't want to hear all of that, but we're creating a mixture of gas that is not safe to breathe, but once our machines cut off, everything goes back to its natural state.
Is there no waiting period by the time the process is over to when the customer can go back in the house?
Usually a couple of hours is what I say.
Oh, okay.
The way we schedule our treatment is we'll come in lunchtime or a little before, do whatever prep work or pre-treating that we might need to do, get the process started by the early afternoon, so that during the overnight hours, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, our equipment cuts off. And while we're all sleeping, everything goes back to its natural state. And by 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, when we come to pick up our equipment, everything is fine. There may be just a little bit of a BioSweep smell to it, which is not offensive, and that eventually goes away. But yeah, you can't be in the space during the treatment, but very quickly afterwards, it's all safe.
I got one last question for you here.
Yeah.
Off air, you were talking about a specific vehicle that was at a dealership lot.
Yeah.
You care to tell that story real
Oh,
quick?
I love telling that.
And then how quickly you remove the odor?
I love telling that story. So this guy, this was in my Alabama franchise. This guy had bought a car at the auction, and he said, I can clean this up. Nobody would touch the car. And he said, I can clean this up. And so he took it and tried to clean it up. Well, what had happened to the car, it was actually traded in at a dealership. And the guy who traded it in forgot that he left a styrofoam cooler full of shrimp in the trunk. And so we know what happens at a dealership. They take the car that's just traded in, they put it on the back lot. And so it sits there until they decide, okay, we're ready and we got the time. We're going to get this car and see what needs to be done and get it ready for resale. Well, you know what happened? They went to it and it was just totally destroyed with shrimp odor. They said, we're not touching it, send it to the auction. Fast forward, this guy had done everything he could think of to get the odor out and was unsuccessful. He found me, called me up, says, Roy, can you do this? I said, well, I think I can. Bring it on. He brought it to my place of business, and 2 hours later, I had the smell totally gone from that space.
And how much did it cost him?
That was, it was $350.
So he could have saved a lot of time and money if he just called BioSweep immediately.
Time and money, that's it. And that's what realtors really need to grasp hold of here, and thank you for the follow-up, is that for everything that you're spending trying to get rid of odor that doesn't work, why not go to somebody that's going to guarantee with the service? You're not losing anything. You're gaining if you hire us on your odor jobs. You're gaining immeasurably, because if I can't get the odor out, you don't pay me.
Oh,
That's a good guarantee.
That's-
That's a good guarantee.
Great guarantee.
Yeah, that's how confident I am in what we do.
I love that confidence. Listen, this question is for both of you. If a realtor has a limited prep budget, where should they spend their first odor and air quality treatment or high quality media? Make your case. So once again, limited time for prep. They can only pick one.
Oh, you're putting them against each other.
Make your case.
What you got, Roy? What you got?
Well, here's what I say. We all know we need to get buyers to the property. That's key. We've got to get them there, and there's no doubt that media can help do that. But here's where it hurts. If you get them to the door, and there's a bad odor in the space, it does two things. Number one, it makes the buyer very irritated. I mean, you can see the visceral change when they smell cat pee in a home. And so you don't want to put your buyers in that position. Number two, it puts your agent. That seller's agent is in a real bad position now because they've got egg on their face. Here they are with clients in tow. They're mad. I look like a fool if I brought them to the space. So I would say if you've got a limited budget, just go ahead and get the odor taken care of.
Okay, he made his case. All right, Michael, you up.
He made his case, but he made the case for me as well. So
Okay, ooh,
And I
let's
meant
go.
to do that.
last time I checked, Zillow doesn't have a smell on it. So
Not scratch and sniff?
In an ideal situation, if you got a smelly house, you use both of us. But if you only got to use one, I think you got to have some high quality media to get them to the door, and then let them make that decision if they can remedy the smell by calling biosweep or deal with themselves. But I think if you're going to have a listing and you're going to invest in removing the odor, but you're not going to have professional photography, you're probably going to have some doom and gloom photos that you might never even get anybody in the door.
I have a third argument.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Get a different realtor.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No offense for you beginners out there, but your job's to sell it.
Good.
It can't smell and it's got to look good.
I'm going to use that. This one doesn't have a scratch and sniff option. Jesus. This question's for both of you as well. If you had a magic wand and you could instantly fix one thing in every listing before it hits the market, what would it be and why?
I actually love that question. I really love that question because of the one word, the magic wand. I can't tell you how many times we've had a treatment, and maybe it was the buyers paid for it. And so they've already smelled the space. They already know what it smells like. And they come back into the space. The reaction that they get from experiencing biosweep was absolutely amazing. They'll come in, their mouth drops open. They say, "Oh, wow, this is magic."
I like that.
That is the response we get so many times. They think we're just pixie dust and just magic for getting the odor out in such a short period of time, usually less than 24 hours.
I like it. So what's that one thing you would fix in all of them?
My wand is probably a little personal as someone that is currently looking for a home in Clearwater in the countryside area that has wasted time walking into houses that within 5 minutes I knew were not what we're looking for. I think it should be mandated that every listing has professional photography and a floor plan, because I need a split floor plan. I got an 11-year-old that I need on the other side of the house so he can play his games, he can play his guitar, and we need to be over here. We want a 4-bedroom split floor plan, and I just think if kind of going back to who you hire as a real estate professional, that is very low cost, easy add-on to give information to showcase that home to to potential buyers that know what they're looking for. And, time is money. It's valuable. You're doing these showings that people are walking in and like, yeah, I saw the photos, but this wasn't what I expected. That floor plan can give them that information so that you can have more information before walking in the home.
So that kind of sounded like you were talking about yourself as a buyer, but what about yourself as a real estate photographer? Because that's what the question was, right?
Well, he said instantly fix one thing before that listing hits the market.
So
My fix would be to include a floor plan with it. If you want me to go in a different direction, I can do that.
Floor plan, that works. Floor plan and that smell.
I thought you were going to go with the staging before you arrive at the house.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. You own a real estate media company. It's a catch-22 with the staging. Because when I talk about virtual staging, all my staging companies yell at me for doing that, and so
Yeah.
Well, man, yes. Well, that's how you do it, folks. Fresh air that closes deals and visuals that stop buyers in their tracks. Roy and Michael, you've shown us exactly what market ready really means. And if you're listening and you want your listing to sell faster and for more, you now know who to call. I just want to say make sure that you follow, subscribe, and share. And as always, this is your host signing off. Until next time, live at Fabre Framework Studio. Keep pushing boundaries, delivering value, and standing out like the star you are.